Woo! All right, and we are on another episode of On the Ranch. And I think this is my first episode in a while that I didn't have a tech issue coming onto the ranch. So, yes, we are celebrating today on the ranch. Really special show because I am on a search around the globe for the best Americana music out there. And I'm looking for indie artists. And they're a special breed, us indie artists. Because we do everything ourselves. We're like a one-man machine. But there's some really, really good music out there that I want to expose you to. But we learned somewhere along the line that when we band together and work together and support each other, that we are a force, that we can compete and be heard without having to go to a major label to take all our profits. Anyway, so tonight I have a really big innovator on that in that area. If you've ever heard of the International Singer-Songwriter Association, they are everywhere, and you should find them if you haven't. But some of the best talent is now gravitating to organizations like this and supporting each other rather than competing with each other and tearing each other down. And Tamanie has been at the forefront of kind of this movement of kind of organizing us. But she is actually a talented songwriter, and today that is what we celebrate. So without further ado, everyone, here's Tamanie Dove. Yay!
How are you?
Oh man, I'm good.
Good. Good. I can hear you and see you, so yay.
You know what? Last week I couldn't say that. It was a panic. I was texting my vice president Troy because this is part of Blast Music 24/7. He's my producer, and I'm like, "Get me back into the studio." I don't know,
Oh no!
But he got me back in. I'm getting good at
good. Not that long. Like I said, we're women. We're smart. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's it. We are a clever group. We are a clever group. So, I'm so happy I have a whole hour of you all to myself. Like, who's letting
So, and like I said, I'm not used to really talking about myself. I hate talking about myself. I'm better at talking about you guys and all the independent artists we have now. 16,400 members in ISSA worldwide. What? You could not have told me that 5 years ago. I would be like, nah.
And believe it or not, I have been with you most of the journey. Mm-hmm. As a kind of original founder. I was looking for groups to be supportive of each other, and I just fell in love with ISA almost instantly. But the growth you've had, and your songwriting, you said, is very recent. It evolved almost with your growth of ISA.
It did. I started writing, and then once I realized, well, let me back up and tell you you want to know how ISA got started?
Sure.
So back up. So my mom, my mom was a music grow, they call her Mama Deb on Music Grow in Nashville. So I grew up in the music industry, but, like I said, until 5 or 6 years ago, I really didn't know I could write a good song. I used to write just fart around kind of thing. And then I went to my son, who was studying to be a sound engineer. Now he's a really good one, obviously, but, and in a band himself. But I remembered when I was younger, my mom took me to lunch one day when she worked at Tree Publishing Company with this guy. He was really, really nice. His name was Eddie Miller. And Eddie Miller founded the Nashville Songwriters Association International right there on Music Row, NSAI. And I thought, I went to my mom. She was still here. She passed a couple of years ago. But I was like, Mom, growing up in the music biz, I'm like, I can write pretty good songs. I'm playing around with it with my son, and he's doing some mixing, and I'm liking what I'm hearing. I'm like, what do I do? So I went to Mom first because I knew she would know. She's like, go check out NSAI. Eddie Miller. He had passed away, like 10 years ago or so. But she's like, you remember him? And he started that, and, go check it out, blah, blah, blah. So I went into their office, which happened to be right across the street from where I used to work in Nashville, where I used to work on Music Row too. And I was like, so what do I do? I'm new and I was like green. And then, I mean, I'm from here and I grew up in the music business, but I don't know what to do now that I'm going to be a so-called songwriter, right? And they were like, well, first you need to pay us $400 a year. What? For what? Wait, for what? They
For
didn't do
what?
it when Eddie was alive. I'm like, where did this come? Well, we have to pay for the building. We have to pay for the staff. And I mean, they had a beautiful two-story. It's where Alabama used to record. I just know that place. But I thought $400. Well, what comes with that? Right. Well, you can use our rooms, have writing rooms here. And I'm like, I write at my house. I have a home studio. I don't need to come here and write. So anyway, I left with this beautiful printed brochure and all that. And NSA has been there since 1969. I was like, yeah, a little kid when they started, but I thought, So I came home from that visit and I was like, well, there's got to be something else out there that's not $400 a year that I could be a part of that would, help do what we're doing now. And I'm like, you know what? I went to sleep that night and I dreamt this. I dreamt about ISSA. It was a dream. It really was. So I woke up the next morning and I started creating the name. And then I called a friend of mine who's a Music Row attorney who helped me trademark the name. And then I designed the logo and then I started putting, social media stuff together. And it was really just a dream, but I wanted something that would help all of us singer-songwriters for free, not $400 a year, and it doesn't cost anything to have like a Facebook page and to do Twitter, just to get it out there. And I mean, I know I send out like membership cards and stuff like that. We do trivia, and obviously there's a cost involved with like our website and our, trademark, whatever. But I thought, you know what? And my husband, Jim, he goes, well, you're going to start this thing. You're going to fund it. I'm like, yeah. So whatever. He's like, I need to take up golf. Now I'm retired, or I can do this. And this is way more fun. So, so I just started with, a handful of friends going, hey, I'm going to start this thing, this organization. I've LLC'd it. I've gotten all the copyright stuff together. I'm just going to run with it. And then, I thought, and then, we're going to have an award show every year just to highlight everybody's work, just have a platform for everybody to see them. And then when I have friends at BMI in Nashville, they heard I was doing it and they turned me on to our venue, which is right here in Atlanta where they have the BMI awards. They're like, you should go have it where we have ours. I'm like, well, yeah. And they came down to help me. So I'm like, BMI reps and A&R people down here could just, because we hang out at the same places. And I'm like, that's what I wanted. I wanted to create something that, we could all do, and our chapter, like representatives in I think we've got like 200 reps now in every corner of the world, Ivory Coast and Germany and Italy and all that stuff. But I wanted it to be a supportive community, you know what I'm saying, where people collaborate. If you have questions, like I did first starting out, how do I copyright? Who do I talk to? How do I meta tag my songs? How do I get them on radio stations? What radio stations can I send them to? We've got this extensive list of radio stations for you to send them out to, and just vast opportunities, magazine, radio, record label, TV, on Roku. I wanted to, billboards, we're trying to do everything to, if you put in the work, we're going to help you be seen, period. And I used to be a cheerleader. I'm like, we're going to make some noise, and I got a big mouth.
You are a great cheerleader. You're a great cheerleader, which is why I'm now going to bring this back to your songwriting.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you're creating this amazing community, and there's nothing better than talking songwriting with another songwriter.
Yeah.
Right? It is really cool because nobody understands the processes like someone else is going through it. So being in a room full of other songwriters sitting and talk. So let's start with the first video that we're going to play is All Things Southern. So I asked everyone who's on the show, this is an Americana show, right? Yeah. Why that style of writing? Why country music? Why Americana?
Because I'm from Nashville, and everything everything I sing kind of comes out country, whether I want it to be rock or whatever, or pop or anything. Because of my accent, I can't help it. But I was thinking one day, you know how I dream a lot of my songs. I'll wake up and start. I have a paper and pad right beside my nightstand, and I woke up and just started writing everything down because I found myself using all the phrases that I grew up with, or my parents we grew up with. You know, the sweet potato pie, and like things we say in the South, kind of thing. And it just
Right.
kind of went from there. And I had my guitar, and I was like, 3 chords. Let's just do something funny. It was just for fun. And believe it or not, that was one of the first ones that I ever finished. Like, one of the very first ones. My mom loved it. She was just like, "Oh my God, I love that." And it's gotten the most. I think I don't know. It's got a lot of views, but like I said, I don't like to brag on myself. I just had fun with it. And yeah, I tried to do and I do some rock. I'm in a rock band, so there's. But again, when I sing, my hubby says you can't. Everything you sing is going to come out like country because of your accent. Unless I'm screaming, obviously. But anyway,
Although you don't have to twang to be the same country. I'm trying
yeah,
to
true.
spell that.
Like
I think the opposite would be true. Like you could twang, you could sing rock and roll with your southern accent.
you could if you're screaming, like I say, if you're just what. But
It
but
can be.
in this rock band that we do like 70s 80s kind of stuff, and I'm doing like Heart and some Stevie Nicks and those kind of things. So when I'm singing, I'm doing the songs like that, and cover songs and things like that. But we do some of mine too. And when we get back, and what's funny? This is so funny. I can remember lyrics to every song when the band, all of them, like Stevie Nicks, Rihanna, all these songs I remember. When I get to singing one of mine, I read the lyrics to my own song.
Is to be up there like playing the introduction 7 times to remember the first line.
Yeah, what is that? I remember everybody else's lines, and then I go to sing mine, and I'm like, oh crap, I wrote that. How can I not remember that? Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. It was just a fun project, and then as I continued to learn new things I had a vocal coach, and I had Brent Baxter, my friend in Nashville, was like, think about writing commercially, or watch your what did he say? He was like, watch your song titles. Make sure your song titles aren't like a whole sentence. I was learning things like that. Make them short and sweet and mysterious so people will want to listen to it. The song titles and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I think
I,
my
I
biggest. You go
I
ahead.
made that mistake once. I wrote a song about. I was thinking about the one that got away in high school,
Yeah.
and I wrote a song about it. And I sent it to him, and it was obvious because the song was called "It Should Have Been You."
Oh, and
Yeah, he didn't respond for quite a while. It was pretty funny, actually. We talked about it. We finally like met up and talked about it. I'm like, did I really freak you out? And he's like, well, 30 years, and then you come out and you drop this, and it's like, what do you do with it? But
wow.
I learned a big lesson about song titles.
Right. Well, and I'm sure you've had this too as a songwriter. You come out with something new, and your friends are like, "Did you write that about me?" Everybody in my band's like, "Did you write that about me?" I'm like, "What?" When you're a songwriter, they think who's that about? Well, what's behind? They want to have the backstory to every single one, and I'm like, some of them, yeah, have a backstory. But I was taught at 9 years old. My mom was the manager for Roger Miller, and he was the sweetest man I ever knew. And we would spend time together in her office, and I'd go to the studio with him and that kind of stuff. And he said to me, and this was when I was 9. He's like, if you ever write a song, and it just blew up. You don't think about stuff. And Roger was just a nice guy. He wasn't anybody famous to me. I grew up with people, that were famous. And mom said they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like we do. But looking back now, I'm like, this was just such good advice. He said, always write a song or do anything when you're emotional, happy, sad, whatever. When you're emotional about it, it'll come out perfect every time. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. I just right over my head. And now that I'm writing, I'm like, duh. All these comments and stuff when I was growing up are just starting to pour in, and I'm like, wow, okay, that was deep. But I'm starting to remember it, right when you're emotional, right when you're this, right when you're mad, you're writing an angry song or whatever. But we always write from our emotions, don't we? Most of the time, the country songs are crying in my beer because my girlfriend left me. Right?
Yeah. No, that's really true. And I know, like, even if you're going from a song prompt, if you can't get to that emotion or attach an emotion to it, you're not going to be able to write the song.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so it has to be about emotion. Otherwise, you're not touching anybody.
Yeah.
You know. So let's touch somebody right now with
Okay.
Southern.
Thank you.
It's a glass of sweet tea. It's a Lord have mercy. It's not just y'all, but all y'all. Higher than a Georgia pine tree. It's deviled eggs and moon pies. Tire swings and blue skies. And Sunday school and football games. Getting muddy and not caring why. It's all things Southern, or maybe just country. Loving God and NASCAR and the good old USA. Biscuits and gravy, anything kindly. It's all things Southern, bless your heart, we were made this way. It's molasses and bluegrass, month of Sundays and green grass. Home, I'm doing fine, just bright as rain. Oh, my stars, they grow up so fast. Wildflowers and sweet peas, homegrown tomatoes, magnolia trees, boiled peanuts and cotton fields. It's warm apple pie with cheese. It's all things Southern, or maybe just country. Loving God and NASCAR and the good old USA. It's biscuits and gravy, anything kindly. It's all things Southern, bless your heart, we were made this way.
And we are back here on the ranch with Tamanie Dove. And we are streaming from Blast 24/7 Music. And we are going across 6 or 7 platforms. And it's interactive. Yeah. So people that are watching, and I can tell some people are watching, I don't get updates from all sites, but we do get all comments. So if you like what you're hearing, just let us know about it. Just write in the comments and we'll throw it right up there for you. We can talk about it if you have any questions. So thank you for joining us on the ranch here with Tamanie. So that was a beautiful song.
Thank you.
And I love the covered bridges.
Oh yeah, those are actually where they were actually filming that one day where Sleepy Hollow was being filmed here in Atlanta. It's the same covered bridge in a lot of the Sleepy Hollow episodes, so it was kind of neat.
Oh, that is kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
I know they have that one movie, The Bridges of Madison County, but that's up north, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of, this is like Atlanta's the new film industry down here. We're like the new Hollywood. There's tons of filming going on down here all the time. It's crazy.
We had The Walking Dead.
Yeah. A good cluster. Yeah. Oh, that's where we make good clusters. And Jack Daniels.
Whoa.
Jack Daniels down here. Of course, I'm
Okay.
in Georgia, so we got peaches and peanuts down here in Georgia.
Peaches and
So,
peanuts. I have the Martin factory one mile from my house.
right
Come on
Right on.
over. I'll take you on a tour.
on. Very cool.
For some reason, I want a Goo Goo cluster.
Oh,
Yeah, your song actually made me hungry.
all the food. Probably.
Isn't it so funny when we think of our childhoods in our hometowns? Like
Yeah.
sometimes we think in foods. Like
Yeah.
you go, I missed this. I missed this.
Yeah. I got I used to say mascot right here. There's a Willie. There he is.
Look how cute. What is he, a Pomeranian?
Yeah. He's like our I used to say mascot. He's like, I gotta be in your lap. I'm like, okay. Okay, sit down.
Yours is good. My dog, I grabbed the guitar in my studio and he is at the furthest point in my concert.
No, he loves it. He'll be like, "Oh, I just, yeah." A lot of times it'll put him to sleep, though. I'm like, "What is that?" Wait.
Now mine's hard on the ego. He's like, oh
Yeah,
my God,
right.
and he runs. And I'm like,
Stop!
But then-
We gotta make it stop. Yeah.
I was Skyping, I was doing a live stream with like a bunch of musicians.
Yeah.
And every time my friend Kevin DeFeo came on, he'd come into the room. And I was like, are you kidding me? Kevin comes on, you come in the room, I go on, and he's like somewhere else.
So is it? I have a quick question because now I mean everybody's talking about this blast of cold air. Is it cold where you are?
It's bad. It's 20 degrees.
Wow, it's supposed to get like down to wind chill be 0 here in Atlanta. Yeah, it's coming way south.
Yeah, well, I have some friends in Big Records that are up in British Columbia,
Yeah.
and they're in the negative 20s.
Yeah.
all that air.
Wisconsin had -74. I actually had lunch with Tim and Tim Steinreich and Mark Rosner up in Vancouver on our way back from a trip. Yeah.
I think I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah,
I
we
went up
had
there.
a nice little power lunch talking about stuff for you guys, for all you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Always scheming, those guys. They like you, they're like you, like your head's always going, like
It does. And people are like, do you ever sleep? I'm like, no, sleep's overrated.
it is. It is. A whole lot of time for that.
Yeah, right.
A whole lot of time for that. But I have learned that I have to stop and take an idea and run with expand it. Like I can't go from one to the other to the other.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, you got to finish projects?
Yeah, I gotta like map it out. Okay, I have a song coming out. I'm doing this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
You know, okay,
Focus
fine.
on it. That's good. That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm not
go ahead.
I'm just not a great multitasker, I guess.
It doesn't matter.
Forever making out lists every morning, list.
Yeah. I find that the older I get, the more important that list becomes.
And it's a good day when you just have a few check marks, you know.
Right. As a songwriter, it's funny because my husband and I will be driving somewhere, and he'll say something off the cuff, and he'll go, "Ooh, that could be in a song." Okay, always. You're
Getting out the phone.
Is always going, yeah. Oh, that could be a song. Wow. And then I find out it already has. So.
Yeah, I know. But then again, there's so many breakup songs. There always need a good breakup song, a good heartache song.
Yeah.
You know,
songs that you can resonate with when you're mad, like Alanis Morissette.
Oh man,
you're mad, and So. And I don't think why people are so down on. They're like, oh no, I had to go to. They made me listen to Taylor Swift. I'm like, she's a great songwriter. She's won a lot of awards. They're like, oh, and somebody asked me the other day, they're like, why don't you give out 50 awards like they give Taylor Swift? I'm like, because then wouldn't that be just like, I went to the Grammys one year, my mom and I went, and she had people there that were nominated and we were there for like, it was way too long. It's like 12, 13 hours. They go on all day and all night. It's like a weekend long thing. And I'm like, I don't want to do anything that feels good for that long, much less.
Right. Oh my goodness.
So when I just started
because there's a lot of awards that are being handed out that we never see on TV.
Right.
So you're like, oh, this artist got a Grammy or whatever, an Oscar or whatever, and it wasn't broadcast, and they don't get really the recognition for it. You know,
So we keep ours to 3 hours. You're out of there in 3 hours and we go party.
and we do.
And yeah, and you get on Roku TV on our TV channel. So everybody does. Everybody that, you know, when you did your acceptance speech because you won last year, it's on our TV channel. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going to one, and of course my friend Bobby Massano. I think you met him. He's a legendary guitarist with tons of really big bands. He was one of our presenters this last year, and he was like they're still doing it at the Grammys. He's like, man, my butt got sore sitting there for 9 hours in one place. I had to get up, leave.
Did they take breaks to eat? I mean, how does that work?
You have to. I mean, there's restrooms, there's drinking there, and that's why a lot of people just go and get drunk because by the time they call my name, they get up there and take the award and they're smashed. You know, it happens.
Yeah, right.
It happens, especially with the rockers. Like, yeah, just smashed. But yeah, it's just so long. But yeah, I wanted to make ours coveted. I don't want to be the biggest. I don't want to be the largest. I don't want to be the longest. I just want to be the best. And, you know, not just anybody can get one of ours. We only give out, 25.
Right. I really do appreciate that you kind of spread the love. Like there's a lot of good indie talent getting recognized. And it's not one Taylor Swift taking home like,
Yeah. And the same people can't win every year because the gold winners can't. They got to back out for a couple of years.
That's right.
And let somebody else get a chance. That way you don't have the same winners all the time or the same. Yeah, like the Taylor Swift all the time, taking them all. It's like, dang, give somebody else a chance. Come on.
Right.
So, yeah, and I tried to look at that from a songwriter perspective, and not like the people who are running those shows and stuff aren't songwriters.
Yeah, they're business machines. They're machines.
Yeah, they're not even musicians. Yeah. They're like, so I'm looking at it as I'm in the audience. What would I want as a songwriter? I would want for people the same people that win all the time. I don't want to sit there all day. Just short and sweet. Give me my thing and let me be on my way. Let me say my speech, blah, blah, blah. And, give me a chance. And yeah, and don't let the same people win. So I'm looking at it from y'all's point of view. Y'all, here we go, the country.
Well, let me ask you this, because this next song coming up has a really strong theme. Do you think that way when you're writing? Like, let me write something powerful that. Tell me about Peace.
Oh, okay. So Peace started out to be an anthem for a friend of mine's funeral. And it started with a few lyrics from a Baptist hymnal that I rewrote it. It was some songs from I just opened a page in the middle of one of my hymnals that I had growing up. It's really old. And I just grabbed this one little line, and from that line, I wrote everything else around it. And yeah, it was meant to be, kind of everybody needs to stop and just breathe, just slow down and think about, because it kind of goes back to the resonating thing of, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So just, enjoy it today kind of thing.
Right,
but,
right.
But it started out to be just kind of a thing for a friend of mine who was passing. So, and we played it at her funeral. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just what are you looking at?
All right, let's listen to some Peace.
Okay. Thank you.
Chance and change, busy as ever, the world alive. Man decays and ages move, and life goes on around us, all around us. But through the gloom, glory shines. Through the soul, it shines on. The river tied my surest dream. Forever we will stand in oceans like the stream, in oceans like the stream, bringing peace, pure peace. Whisper to me with the wind, for peace. Leaning onward, beaming bright, like the wideness of the sea. Love and mercy will endure, ever faithful, ever sure, in all things beautiful and pure. Yearning for that deeper meaning, full of light and all the answers. Ever singing with the wind, shining on both day and night, both day and night, bringing peace, pure peace. Whisper to me with the wind, for peace.
And we are back here on the ranch, and we are streaming on Blast Music 24/7 across 6 platforms. So if you're with us tonight, you could comment, and we'll be able to see it where we are. And if you'd like to be on the show, there's a banner annoyingly running across the show, my website /shows, and you could fill out a form, and you could join us on the ranch. So hope to see you there. So we're here with Tamanie, who is founder of ISA, but also an amazing songwriter in her own right. And that was just such a powerful song, especially with the video.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. There's just a lot of chaos going on in the world right now. You know, we just need a little peace.
You know, it's a good time to be a folk writer.
Right?
You know,
Really?
There were good protest songs, and
Yeah. Kind of folksy. But yeah, you're asking, you know, usually I have a theme, or I'll wake up, you know, having dreamt something, and then I'll write something from that. You know, there's so many creative people. You know, you met them, a lot of them, at the award show this last year. There was so much talent under one roof. It blows my mind. And it's just, I mean, some of the videos that the judges had to look through, they're like, man, I can't even, they had a task before them, because, you know, and these are people that, you know, should be, of course, they're not going to be major labels because they take all our money, right?
yes,
But
they do.
we want their careers to just super excel, and some of them are, you know, some of them have turned down record label deals, so they're like, no, I just want to stay independent like Taylor Swift and do my own thing and not give you all my money. So, and that was one thing that when I talked to Rick Barker about it, he's like, you know, Taylor, he's Taylor Swift's former manager, because she decided to do, her parents and herself, they're like, we can do this. And he's like, you can do this. And he's, a beacon for, you can do this. You don't need a manager. You don't need a label. You don't need any of that. You can do this yourself. We have internet now. And of course, when Eddie Miller, when I was 9, we didn't have internet. And they, now that we have internet, we've got international instead of.
He'll show you how, and he'll point it out. And he'll also kind of give you direction on where not to go.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there with handouts.
Yes.
With handouts, and make you a star. And if you're a musician, you got to get the stars out of your eyes and understand the business of it all. And it's a grind.
It is. And I think there's a lot of people that are trying to follow that brass ring, maybe. And I learned that. From just being around a lot of it my whole life, that if people start telling you how to write your music, then you lose your creative side. It's like, I need to write more commercially. I need to do this. I need to don't tell me what I need to write. I write because that's what you know what I mean. It kind of deters your creativity. I think, in my opinion, you need to write for you, but do what you want. Don't conform to what the labels want, kind of thing, or what's selling, what's commercial, what's whatever.
Right.
Why we have, like our friend Macintosh with the Sync Ops, he's got all these opportunities for people wanting to, use our music to license it, sync up for TV and movies and whatever. You never know what they're looking for, and submit it. A lot of the opportunities we had were for free. I mean, it's like $5 a month or something like that, ridiculously low. But he pitches.
What does that do with that? I'm writing that down.
Yeah, he pitches our music to TVs, gaming, movies, whatever. And about, I don't know if you know this or not, but about my second year into this, I got a sync licensing, a really good one. It was like $4,000 for Hallmark. It was a Hallmark. Yeah, they even did Christmas cards with the whole theme. And it was No Stopping Me Now was my song, No Stopping Me Now. But I got a thing from Song Trader. I was signed up for Song Trader, and they were like, you have a new balance or whatever. And it was in my email. And I'm like, what? They used it in a Hallmark movie. And I was like, yeah, okay, what I'm doing is right. Okay, I'm going the right direction.
Right.
I started putting my music out there everywhere. And, for something random like that. But yeah, you have to have opportunities like that is what we're trying to make sure all of us, like, hey, sign up for this, or, pitch your music here, pitch it there. The more places we can get you heard, and we can get ourselves heard, because we're all in this together, yay. And there's a lot to go around. I mean, they're not going to get bored with all, 16,400 of us coming at them every day, right?
Right. No, it's true. It's true. When there are 160,000 songs a day are uploaded onto Spotify, and we could compete with each other, or we could share the wealth.
Right.
You don't know what they're looking for, and me putting you down isn't going to make my song fit the scenario.
Right. Exactly. And
nothing to be gained with that.
Yeah. And there's some songs that you'd be, they may not be your cup of tea or whatever, but you never know. There was one, I was watching a movie. It was kind of like a thriller movie, like Last Weekend or something. And I heard this track, and I'm like, that is really funky, but it worked. It worked with the theme of I'm like, whoever wrote that was really creative. And that's, you what I'm saying is basically don't limit your creativity when you're writing. Write for you. Write what you want to write, not what, because you never know.
And that's why I ask about the style of music, country, because there are song structures and beats and, certain beats per minute that's usually country, or it could go to that. And certain things that they look for, and there's a lot of different options, but certain people gravitate and you write what you like, where your heart is.
I mean, look at Wagon Wheel, Darius Rucker, 3 chords. I mean, really, when I first heard that, I'm like, okay, that's the most boringest country song.
2 chords.
Yeah, whatever. And like, look how I did. I'm like, and now, people request it at Tootsie's when you're on Broadway in Nashville. I'm like, oh, sing Wagon Wheel.
I have to.
Yeah, but so you never know. I mean, and it could be that of course Darius was with Hootie and the Blowfish. He had a little bit of uh, power behind him when he put that out, but still. But anyway, yeah. Needless to say,
Right.
yeah. So I have a question for you. So what do you see? What do you see? What are your biggest challenges being as a songwriter in this industry today? What do you see
Um,
as a challenge?
I think it started with the COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
You had no access to fans, and the whole industry kind of shifted and everything went digital. And my fans to me are everything. So I want to find fans, people who would be interested in liking my music, and start playing more. Like I've done radio tours for radio stations that are playing my music. So it's kind of reaching my audience
Yeah.
is always the biggest challenge, and monetizing from that, hopefully that comes with it, but it's always connecting with fans.
Yeah.
It's all about the song and connecting with fans.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, COVID kind of, it kind of messed with us a little bit too, but it also gave people time at home to be creative and learn about new things. I think the one of the things that I found out that I didn't know was how much there was to be learned, or every single day. I mean, I'm still learning. When you stop learning, you stop living, I think.
Oh, you do. You
I
do.
just, I was YouTubing things. I was asking my son, he's like, get this audio box thing and, send me your DAW. I'm like, what the heck is a DAW? It's a digital audio workstation. You got to have that. You got to set up your studio like this, and you got to, no, and all this stuff. And it was just like, I was having to learn, I wanted to learn, a lot of the stuff that he knew. But he was using like Pro Tools and I was using like Studio One. So we're trying to integrate the two. It's like Google and iPhone, try to talk to each other. But I was like, okay. So he's like teaching me. Here I am, his mom and my kids teaching me all kind of cool stuff. But I didn't realize how much like meta tagging and all this, technical stuff that you really need to know too. Yeah.
I learned there's a big difference between not being able to do something and not wanting to do something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there are things I don't like to do. I can do them. Yeah. And when my label dropped me in the beginning of COVID, I cried. My attorney's like, get over yourself, do it yourself. Yeah. You know what to do, and you're going to do it better than them. Yeah. And I cried, and I'm like, all right, I don't want to do this, but I know I can do it. And I've gotten much better at it. I don't cry nearly. No, I really, and I'm starting to really enjoy the process and the control. And I love making videos. I think you do too.
Oh yeah.
Watching your videos. It's like when I was counseling, I would tell all my people, you have to play in your sandbox. You have to take time for yourself. And to me, when I make video, it's being in my sandbox. It's my inner child. It's going out and playing and just letting things go and see what comes together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and that you get to be creative doing that too, doing your video. That's part of it. Yeah. What do you see? You write the song, but I don't really write the song with the video in mind. The video comes later. It's like, what do I want to do with this? And I even run it by some of my people that, the video guys and crew and stuff. And they're like, well, what about this? And I'm like, yeah, does that kind of fit the thing? So you really got to kind of pull it all together so that people get the vibe of what you're trying to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I actually do write with video in mind, but that's happened, I don't know, somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
As I country western is a lot of visualization and imagery that just kind of lends itself to video.
Yeah.
And so I kind of get an idea of where I want to be when I film things. I need to be in a bar versus I need to be on railroad tracks versus.
Right. So a lot of songwriters, and I'm sure we're pretty different when we're writing some, and they ask me this too. Do you write the melody first or do you write the lyrics first?
I start with lyrics.
See, I
And
start with the music.
right.
I start out with a drum beat, like a beat. I took backwards. I know. I start out with a beat, like a tempo, and then I do some like drum tracks and stuff, and then I add the melody, and I add the lyrics last after I.
Really?
Yes, yes.
I almost have I gotta start with, where I want it to go. And I start with the chorus to the verse sometimes in the
Nice.
process.
Different, yeah.
And then beats start to kind of fall in and I start to get the rhythm of it.
Okay. Yeah,
you're
I start with it. Yeah, I'm
You
weird.
start with the tempo and
it's funny because I'll have a whole track of music like written with, like 20 layers of, drums and all these, different layers of synthesizers and guitar and all that. And then I'll be like, what do I want to write to it? Well, I have to listen to it 2 or 3 times, and then eventually the lyrics will come.
Is that how it was for No Stopping Me Now?
Yeah.
Because that sounds like an anthem, like I'm going,
Yeah, it started out, I always write the music first. And then what I do is like sometimes when I'm walking my dog or doing something meaningless, like doing the dishes or whatever, I'll be humming the tune. I'm just weird like that. Right brain, left brain is all wonky. But I write the music track first, and then the lyrics come.
Well, let's give a listen to this. No Stopping Me Now.
Okay, thank you.
This is my life. I have to shape it, or somebody else will. It just won't seem right to let others choose my way. Gonna dig a little deeper and reach for the stars just like I want to. There's no stopping me now. I'm on my way. Since I know I can't win, then I guess I can have my say. Never gonna give up, never gonna give in. This time I'm here to win. I'm not walking away. There's no stopping me now. Gonna live loud, laugh loud, play loud, and be who I want to be. Gonna live hard, laugh hard, play hard, take in the scenery. Gonna breathe in, hold on, stay strong, and remember what matters. There's no stopping me now. I'm on my way. Since I know I can't bend, I guess I can have my say. Never gonna give up, never gonna give in. This time I'm here to win. I'm not walking away. There's no stopping me now. Didn't come this far just to play along with fools. Time to rewrite the rules.
Oh, I love that. I
Thank
love that
you.
message.
It was kind of like that's the cheerleader in me coming out. You
Oh,
can do
yeah.
it. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going.
But we all need to be our own cheerleaders.
We do.
You know,
We
we need
do.
some real self-care, some realistic goals,
Mhm.
and you know, we need to all keep things in perspective and be our own best friend.
Yes, baby. Absolutely. So yeah. So tell me something. Tell me one of the cool backstories that nobody knows about one of your songs.
Oh my goodness.
Uh-huh. Making you think.
Um, okay, I just released a song called Olivia.
Okay.
And I was doing crisis counselor for a while. And Olivia is about domestic violence, but it's based on a true story. I was working with a domestic violence group on date. They were doing sessions on date rape and date violence with our
Wow.
students in the body.
Mhm.
And Allison, one of the girls that she was working with, was being stalked, and they had a safety plan and all of that. But one day she thought she could make it from her door to the car in the front. And by the time she got there, opened the door, the stalker came around the door, stabbed her 16 times before her father came out.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That's whew.
This
You
is
know,
some
that's one of those things when because I had a stalker at one point, and it's like, okay, well, you take out a restraining order and they violate it. But when they violate it, by the time you call the cops, they're already gone. It's like,
it is a
it's
piece
that,
of paper
yeah,
that,
they know that. So,
you know, and they do. And they do. And I think, you know, you're a woman, you're gonna know there's a lot of things that don't get said, that don't get talked about. There's
right.
even in the discrepancy of inside the music business of
Yeah.
songs getting played, how many times women get booked versus men, you
Mhm.
know, there's a little inequalities there, and it resonates in our society, you know,
It
and it comes
does.
out in dating.
It does.
So
No, I got to go listen to it. I got to go listen to Olivia. Was that her name? That's
yeah,
her
that's
name.
the name of it. I just released it on Friday.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Are you
but
going
you
to
know,
put it on ISSA radio?
what's that?
Are you going to put it on ISSA radio?
I'm going to put it on. I have 3 new ones, and I can't remember which ones I submitted, so I might have to just submit all 3 of them again.
Okay, there you go.
Video.
Yeah,
So
there's a program that Dennis Hartman has that, you know, if you've already submitted it, it'll tell you, oh, it's already in there. So if you do a double, whatever, he'll figure it out. So
okay.
I've been so blessed this last year, Randie, with people going, you know, because when I first started, I used to say it was just me. It's just me. I'm doing all, you know, but it was cool. It's fun. I enjoyed it. And then people started coming out of the woodwork, like Justin Ray Williams. He's like, hey, I'm gonna sponsor you a TV channel. And then, you know, of course,
Broke. Yeah.
Willow said, hey, I'm going to do ICC magazine. I'm going to take on this project she's doing the magazine. And then my friend Dennis is like, oh, I'll run the radio station for you. And I'm like, everybody's wanting to help. And I love that. I love the fact that we're all, you know, taking a few minutes of our time to help each other. And
Right.
like for Dennis, you know, he just 2 days a week, he goes in there and he does all the songs and he makes sure they're coded and blah, 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 right? And does that. So for them, it's like, well, it's not a lot of work, but it's just the, you know, their effort that everybody is putting in, and it's just so overwhelmingly just wow. I love it.
And it's grown so much. I've just been watching you, and it's just an amazing process. But what's next for Tamanie Dub Music?
I'm actually writing one right now. Yeah, I can't tell you who because it's a surprise. It'll be out later this year, and it's totally out of my. And I try to tell people to do this. Because we are creative. It's out of my genre completely. It's like it's going to be like y'all are going to go what?
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So yeah, it's I went outside my box by a lot, but I'm loving it. And I'm trying to experiment with my vocals and with my ideas and just let my creativity take over kind of thing. And and yeah, so I'm collaborating on this next one. And yeah, it's a secret though right now. So
So we have a few more minutes. So tell me a secret about that people don't know about your music.
tell you a secret they don't know
Yeah.
about my music. I don't really keep any secrets.
Or maybe somebody doesn't know about your music.
That my son does a lot of my guitar tracks for me because I suck at it. He's
That was
really
your
good on the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people don't know. Well, they know I play, but I strum kind of thing. I mean, he's like he can copy any guitar lick and slay it. Like he's had a guitar in his hand since he was 3. So for me, I write with my guitar, but I don't play it out because I'm not that great with it. But I let him do all my guitar tracks for me. So because he's just really good. These people don't know that. Well, I do. Some of them.
Any performances coming up? Can they see you anywhere?
Yeah, our band is going to be playing here. I play all the time here in Atlanta with my band. Let me check my phone. I think we're playing at a place called Coastal Grill here in Roswell, Dunwoody area in a couple weeks. But if they go on my website, they'll see where I'm playing and stuff. I mean, I'm like I said, I try to tell you guys. I practice what I preach. I don't put it out there and go, y'all need to be everywhere. I'm everywhere. So you go to tamaniedove.com. If you go to my Twitter, I mean, my music's on iTunes and Spotify. You can't, if you Google my name, it'll come up like 5 pages of stuff. So you can't. Where's her next tour? Google it.
What's the name of your band? Is it
Corporate Therapy? Oh, and here's a secret. You know why we call it Corporate Therapy?
Let's hear it.
I play in a band with 6 guys. I'm the only girl. I'm lead singer. And my 6th guy, I call them my 6 guys because we've been together for 7 years now. They are corporate guys by day. They're cybersecurity techs, and they work for big companies that do cybersecurity stuff. Techie, whatever, corporate. And the music, our band, is the therapy.
Yeah.
So, corporate therapy.
I get it. You got to stay sane in the corporate world.
Yeah. Corporate guys by day, the therapy on the weekends. So
that's
What
right.
we usually play. So yeah, that's a secret.
That's a secret.
It's like, where'd you come up with your name? Corporate Therapy. I'm like, well, corporate guys, and this is our therapy. So, and it truly is. Music, I believe, is therapy. Truly.
Oh,
is.
I do too. Yeah. It's gotten me through a lot of tough times.
When you have nothing else, you have music. You still have your music. And, my son told me one time, he's like, Mom, even if something happens to you and you get older and you lose your vocal cords, or whatever, he's like, your music's always going to be out there. It's always going to be there. It can always
be living there. It's always going to be living there in cyberspace.
Yeah.
Tamanie Dove,
yeah.
I want to thank you for being on my show tonight. It has been so fun diving into your music.
Thank you for playing it. I don't like to very much. Anyway, but I appreciate it.
You're not a problem. Thrilled to have you. Okay, hang out 1 second.